Following some big departures, there is already a lot of conjecture around where Central Coast Mariners will finish this season. The reigning champions, can they defend their title? I'll tell you what, it's going to be difficult. Hey guys, my name's Lockie. Of course, I'm a Mariners fan, so this is always exciting, talking about my team. And I'm going to try and stay neutral, but of course, give my insight as a fan as well at the same time. So look, Central Coast Mariners, a team who was so good last year, winning the championship under Coach Nick Montgomery, performed so well. And the biggest out, before we get into the ins and outs, the biggest out for the Mariners is Nick Montgomery, is the head coach. He was just incredible the way he got this group of players and turned them into a fantastic team. Not just as a team, do they perform, cohesively and go on to win the A-League championship, but individually, he got the best out of so many players, and losing that is such a massive blow for Central Coast Mariners. And let's jump into the ins and outs first of all, though. Plenty of outs and some huge names in there. Nectar Triantis had a massive season. Samuel Silvera, Benny and Kololo, James McGarry, some players who were really crucial to the Mariners' success. And of course, the biggest player out there, you got to say, is Jason Cummings, who headed off to India after scoring a hat-trick in a grand final. He basically did it all in the A-League, didn't he, over the course of 18 months. It's a huge loss for Mariners. For me, he is the Mariners' greatest striker of all time. I think the impact he had was just unlike anything that we've seen. Jason Cummings was phenomenal for the Central Coast Mariners. And replacing those goals up top, we've got Alu Kowal coming back. Very excited for that signing. He was a player that really sparked a lot of excitement here on the Central Coast, especially after so many years of struggling. Kowal and then his brother Garang. So many fans just love those players, man. Jing Reese back at the club as well. And again, a bunch of young players coming in with the likes of Washkowski, Paul, Millard. Will Wilson is an exciting signing as well, another young player from Melbourne Victory. Angel Torres as well looks like a decent replacement on the wings for the likes of Silvera and Kololo, and shows some promising signs in the AFC Cup game on match day 1 for Central Coast Mariners. And it's those wide areas that's sort of the concern for me, because let's have a look now at how the spread is looking for the squad depth for Central Coast Mariners. And of course, there can be some rotation between positions for some players. There is a lot of versatility. But it is the wide areas where it does look a little bit thin. Obviously, there's plenty of young players from the academy squad that I'm sure could be promoted into those wide areas. But you've got the likes of Theo Harris, Docker, and Torres who could play in those roles. We did see Will Wilson start on the left wing for Mariners in the AFC Cup. The backline for me, even though some people are concerned, is still looking pretty solid. To still have Kautak is fantastic. Nathan Paul has looked promising so far. Hall, Windust, there's good options there, and good depth across that back line. And even up top as well, I know a lot of people, again, talking about the departure of Cummings, but we already touched on Kowal, Reese. We've got Marco Tullio, who's still there. We cannot forget about that. Marco Tullio was phenomenal, especially in the second half of last season for Mariners. He's going to be crucial. He's going to be the new talisman for the Mariners leading forward. He really has to step up and be scoring goals and assisting goals as well to sort of fill that Cummings role. We saw a lot from last season from Jason Cummings, where he would drop deep, get involved in the play. He grabbed a handful of assists last year, and Tullio is going to have to be that same kind of player. Even someone like Wenzel Halls, which for me, I still think hasn't hit his full potential. Could be set for a big season as well. Still got, the combination of Nisbet and Ballard in midfield as well, which is good. Look, the rising star for Mariners, there's plenty that you could go to, but I'm actually going to pick out Nathan Paul. I was really impressed with him, especially in his debut in the Australia Cup round of 32 match against Sydney FC. Very calm and composed in defence. Unfortunately, scored that own goal in the AFC Cup, but it was just an unlucky one. I think a player who could potentially follow the same pathway as Nectar Triantis. He was signed from Sydney FC. Triantis was from Wanderers, but signed from a Sydney club, brought into the Mariners, potentially to be a starting centre-back alongside someone like Brian Kautak, who could help, Kautak's experience will be crucial in that combination. But Nathan Paul is someone who, if he has a successful season, has a lot of potential. Maybe some overseas clubs could be eyeing some of these young players off. Even, curious to see how the likes of, Jacob Farrell go this season. Third year now in that Mariners first team. Big year for him as well, potentially trying to secure an overseas move. My prediction for Mariners, though, in terms of where they will finish, I'm going to put them between 5th and 6th place. And it's going to be curious, really interesting to see what you guys think, because I think a lot of people, from what I've gather, is maybe calling Mariners to finish lower than that, in the bottom 6. I think that's a far way to fall, especially considering that you do have a strong spine of Vukovic, Kaltak, Ballard, Nisbet, Tullio, these players who were so good last year and were crucial to that championship winning season for the Mariners. And look, there's a lot of unknown around some of these new players. Docker in there as well, Torres. I mean, a lot of excitement as well as Mariners have done a pretty good job of recruiting in recent years. But let me know where you think Mariners will finish this season. Very, very curious to hear what you guys think. Hopefully my Mariners, we can go all the way, go back to back again. Why not? But guys, thanks so much for tuning in. My name's Lockie, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.